Hey y'all, this is the Empress. Welcome back to the channel, the Empress Speaks. I was just watching a YouTuber by the name of funkydineva. Been watching him for a while. He's doing pretty well. And he just abruptly ended his live and he said some very salacious comments about Nick Cannon's children. So I pulled a few cards on him, and this is for entertainment purposes only. But I wanted to see what was in his energy because it feels like some unhealed trauma, some crashing and burning, something happening with him. So the very first card I pulled was the King of Wands in the reverse, indicating a lot of impulsiveness, and you can hear that in his live today. And not just today. This is just something that's been like he's been edgy, very impulsive, very flippant with his words or choice of words, calling children who are innocent trash bags. Very poor choice of words, but that's the energy, that's the vibe he's in. A lot of fire in his words, a lot of aggression, anger, bitter. These are words that cut like a sword, cut like a knife. A lot of swords here. Second card was the Six of Swords. The Six of Swords, indicating that he's, you know, thinking about there could be some turmoil, relationship turmoil, or something. People argue, so maybe he and his significant other is having some arguments, some words being exchanged, or thinking about relocating. He's thinking about, he did mention something about relocating or purchasing another home in Miami. There's water here, so that might be something that he really wants to do, get out of the Atlanta, Sandy Springs area. He wants to be close to water. It looks like he's, in this card, you got a gentleman that's rowing closer to water here. There might be something happening with an aunt or relative, because you see someone in that boat with him. So he's taking himself and very little possessions, but he's the one possession that you can see here is someone in this boat. Could be a female, could be an aunt, doesn't have to be. So there's some movement in order to achieve balance. He's trying to find a solution or resolution. Maybe getting closer to Florida will get him closer to a relative or something like that. But also something else is making him move. It could be finances. It could just be the vibe, whatever. Third card is the Five of Wands here. A lot of competition. So perhaps the competition is thick in Atlanta for YouTubers. He's definitely has a strong platform. Shouldn't feel intimidated by anything because he's built himself up quite nicely. But there's a lot of competition, disagreements. There could be something in the background here, and this is what you see here: a whole lot of infighting. There's a struggle for something, and there may be something that he wants to do with mainstream that isn't coming into fruition, or it's not landing the way he wants it to, or some negotiations or discussions, or something happening in his friend circle, or not happening in his friend circle, that's creating a whole lot of tension and strife here. And then the last card is the Chariot. The fourth card we pulled for him is the Chariot, indicating that there's some movement coming, and he knows that. Whether that movement takes him completely out of his current domicile into just living back in Florida, or there's some movement with something happening with someone very close in his relationship, but somebody is moving, and it's causing him to want to move, physically move. There's something about a move that's causing him some anxiety, and he's lashing out on his viewers. He's known for shock. He's a shock jock slash comedian. That's kind of like his platform, but his listeners and viewership are mostly women, so he's saying a lot of crazy stuff to them. It's coming across very crazy. So it looks like there's a lot of things going on. 7, 6, and 5 are significant in this reading for him. Fire, water, air. Looks like there's something about to manifest. There's something that is coming into fruition with your fire, your water, your air. There's something being, something's brewing here. Okay, something's getting hot. Something's getting really hot. And that's causing the temperament, that's causing some of the curt, you know, conversation, a flippant conversation. I really don't care, calling his audience bees, or specific members of the audience bees if they challenge him or say that, hey, you shouldn't be calling kids trash bags, things of that nature. So he's speaking as if he has this confidence in himself and his financial security and ability, but there's something else there. There's something unhealed there. That there's a scab, and the band-aid keeps coming off because his triggers are so frequent, and you're seeing that a lot in his commentary. When he comes on, it's a fake sense of happiness, and it's masked with conversations about wealth and I'm this, I'm that, and you all are nothing. You're peasants. You have to go to work. There's nothing wrong with going to work. We all have to start somewhere. But there's something else underlying, that's just allowing him to lash out and hurt, hurt people. That's allowing him to try to get that low-lying fruit to insult others. Whether he means to do it or not, this is the corner he backs himself into when there is, trauma or a wound that has not been healed. Any little trigger can snatch that band-aid off and expose that scab that's, pussing up, and it's got, it's not quite healed. It's not a healthy scab. It's not, that wound isn't healing properly. And so this has been a quick 4-card reading on the funkydineva for entertainment purposes only. And you guys let me know what you think. If you were on live tonight, what your thoughts are. And we'll get right back at you. Love, peace, purpose, and abundance to all of you.